Hey, this Omar, and just on here real quick, recapping the game from yesterday between the Bills and the Dolphins. And I don't know, Dolphins seemed like they choked the game away, man. They was kind of in control of the game, surprisingly, but it seemed like once the snow started falling, it kind of messed them up as far as, like, I guess mentally or whatever, because all of a sudden they I guess they thought they was good with with the little lead that they did have. You know what I'm saying? They was up 27 26 to 21, and so that was like, I guess, them feeling like, yeah, we kind of got them or whatever. But I mean, give credit to Buffalo. They definitely play all the way through the 60 minutes. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple of games where they should have lost, but they kept on fighting and clawing, and what I'm saying, kept themselves in the game long enough to get the win or still a win. And yesterday was another one of them, because the Dolphins definitely should have won the game. I mean, the stats. Third down stats, they lean towards Buffalo 8 of 14, and Miami was 5 of 14. Yards, it was 446 for Buffalo and 405 for the Dolphins. And time possession was kind of a wash. Miami had it for 30, and the Bills had it for 29 minutes. But Tua, he had a better game, especially from how he played last Sunday night. He had a stronger game on the road. He was 17 to 30, 234, two touchdowns, no interception, 104 rating. So it wasn't because of Tua that they lost. It just, if you'll say, in the fourth quarter, his complete percentage probably dipped a little, because they ain't really do nothing. You know what I'm saying? They just scored that field goal. But you look at, running the ball. I was real surprised at running the ball. They was throwing for like 100, not yeah. For running the ball, Monster had like 100 yards in the first half. So I thought that, yeah, man, just keep riding that bull. You know what I'm saying? Because he looked like he might get a two piece. You know what I'm saying? But they kind of tightened it up in the second half or whatever, because he only had like like a few yards. He ended the game with 136, but most of that he got in the first half or whatever. Ahmad, he was running strong. You know what I'm saying? He had 6 carries for 43 yards. It just seemed that they second half offense wasn't as tight as the first half offense. They was more aggressive and making certain plays, and they just had Buffalo more on their heels in the first half. Waddle, he had 3 for 114, and he had that long one that was at 67 yards in the first half or whatever. But well, not first half, but he just had that 67 yarder that kind of added to his stats. Because aside from that, he ain't really do too much. Tariq Hill, the second game versus Buffalo, he ain't go over 100, but he caught a touchdown. He had 9 of 69 on 13 targets. But Christian Wilkins, I'm gonna say his name first, because like he been flashing off the screen for them, for me, for the past few weeks. And like I said, they got a solid defense. They just got to keep adding pieces. But Wilkins, he had a fumble recovery, and he had 6 tackles. He ain't had no sacks. As a team, they only had 2. They had 6 QB hits, so that was enough to kind of, rattle Allen for a little while, until he kind of, got his, how he get his little confidence in the second half or whatever. But I'm trying to look at their stats right quick as I'm going through it. Yeah, I'm looking at Chubb. Chubb ain't do nothing, man. He only had, he had 1 QB hit, but I mean, Chubb don't really do too much. I mean, he ain't no X factor dude. Like I say, I don't want to hate on the dude. I just think that he's overvalued. as far as like what people thought, like, oh wow, Chubb went got traded to Miami. He had different. I'm like, if you look at his games, because I mean, one of my favorite team in the AFC West, and he don't be making those plays like you'd be like, oh shit, that's a difference maker. Like he just a okay guy, like a guy that fits in the rotation. Maybe next year he'll do it, but so far as his career, he ain't really shown to be like that there's somebody that's gonna wreak havoc in the game. He seemed like he just a guy that's just, he made it to the league. But I'm just saying, oh, as an overall all pro type of guy, he don't seem as that, But yeah, Buffalo, give credit to Buffalo though. They ain't let up, and how some teams could choke, because Buffalo was supposed to win. They was the favorite, so they could have choked it up, but it just seemed like, they gonna just keep playing. Josh Allen, he had 304 yards off of 25 completions, 40 attempts. He had 119 rating, and he had 4 touchdown passes. Running the ball, he chimed in with 10 carries for 77 yards, and that 44-yarder, that was that long one. They had 150 yards as a team, but it for most weeks it don't seem like the running backs be leading them in rushing. You know what I'm saying? They only gave Singletary 13 carries and he had 42. And Cook, he had 5 for 34. Like they not really trying to see like what the other guys can do. I get it, they more pass heavy, but I don't know. Cook looked like he both of them. I ain't even gonna just single Cook out, but both Cook and Singleton look like they both could do something, like be 100-yard contributor as far as a total passing and catching and running. But you really can't see it because they really don't make them the focal point. Uh, Receivers, Knox, he had, a TD grab. He been getting hot of late, you know what I'm saying, especially in this back half of the season. He had 8 targets. He caught 6 for 98 and a touchdown. Diggs had another game where he didn't have 100 yards. But he had 5 for 60 on 9 targets. Gabe Davis, he had 6 targets, caught 4 for 56. But the people that you wouldn't have thought was gonna catch the touchdowns, caught the touchdown, like Quentin Morris, he caught a touchdown, and Hines, he caught a touchdown, and Cook caught a touchdown. Like out of before the week, say you was playing fantasy, you wasn't to think none of them motherfuckers was gonna catch the ball. But he's spreading the ball around, because he definitely be getting. They got an offense where they definitely get mismatches most weeks, and so Cole Beasley, they signed him back. So, they gonna be they very formidable for sure. You know what I'm saying? Now, pressuring, they had to be a little more versatile ever since they lost Von Miller. So they had 2 sacks and only 4 QB hits. So, that might be a problem when they going up against people like Cincinnati or people like KC. If they ain't gonna be able to rush the quarterback, that means the defense gonna be on the field, a lot longer, and they not gonna be able to, it might cost them where they might not be able to get the ball back to Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? Because their defense ain't really creating. Well, last week they created turnovers, but I mean, each week to week is different. Some weeks they might create turnovers, and some weeks they might not, and they just gonna be on the field a long time. Like this week, where they was on the field for 30 minutes or whatever. So overall, it was a solid win. They going to the playoffs for the 4th straight year, and just staking their claim, like, yeah, they're gonna be a hard out. And on the NFC side, you know what I'm saying, there's a lot of stuff jumbling around. Buffalo definitely is still a heavy favorite, and a squad that people gotta respect, especially if they get all the games in Buffalo. I think it's gonna be a problem. If they fall to the 2 seed, then it's gonna be like whoever lasts, through as far as the top dogs though. But yeah, though, solid win. Congrats to Buffalo on going to the playoffs or whatever. All right, that's my thoughts on it. Thanks for listening.